Alyssa, are you feeling petty or sane this week, or both?
I'm feeling a little in the middle. Mostly I just have something I find concerning and think that people should be aware.
It's not. I feel concerned.
I feel concerned. Erin, there are pharmacy walkouts across the country. Walgreens and CVS pharmacy workers are walking out. Couple things. One, they're not unionized. So they are organizing these walkouts independently. Of about 9,000 Walgreens, about 500 had agreed to participate or had expressed interest in the walkouts. And Erin, here's what's happening. None of the major chains are staffing up their pharmacies well enough. And so, for example, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this is happening down the street from me. My pharmacy down the street is about 3 weeks behind in their prescriptions.
Oof.
And I'm telling you, this has been going on since about August. And it started out with people being like pretty chill. Everyone fundamentally understands it's not the fault of the person behind the counter who cannot fulfill their prescription. But like I was literally standing in line listening to a man who needed his heart medication be told it wouldn't be ready for 2 to 3 weeks. And these are companies that are quite rich, and I feel like they can staff things accordingly. But the thing that's gotten crazy over most recently is that it's getting the tone is a little hot. People can't take it anymore. They need their goddamn medication. And I personally have stopped going to this pharmacy because the last time I was there, tempers were flaring and it felt honestly unsafe. And so now I see this in the news. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope that my CVS did a sick out where everyone called in sick and only the pharmacist was there answering the phones and trying to help people, which was, of course, a catastrophe. But I'm here to say if you go to your Walgreens, your CVS, it is, of course, frustrating, but find the phone number for the regional manager and call and complain. Don't get aggressive or hostile towards the pharmacy workers because they're just trying to do their jobs.
Yeah. Ugh. Just nightmare. You know, if you have a medication that you have to take every day to function, whether it's mentally or physically, and you suddenly can't get it, it's like
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's awful. Ugh. Okay. Well, I hope Walgreens coughs up and starts paying the people that are doing the work that is making them rich. I've got something that's kind of a sanity corner / kind of a petty. I love shit that has nothing to do with me. It's a good way. It's a good way for me to forget my troubles and dissociate. This week in shit that has nothing to do with me, there is a couple of women who recently got married who are sort of like the darlings of TikTok, and their names are London and Olivia. Now, about a week and a half ago, they had a massive, stylish, beautiful wedding. These are like two kind of Southern belles who met and fell in love. And their wedding was just like so stylish and beautiful. And then you kind of zoom out on the wedding. You know, they had all these brand deals. You know, People magazine photographed it. It was all over TikTok. Their makeup artists, their style, like all of these people were posting like BTSs of the wedding. And, you know, it was held at a place like a big, beautiful old house in the South with columns on the front porch. And yeah, the started about 24 hours after the pictures started getting posted to TikTok and the videos started getting posted, and everyone was like, oh, love is real. These two are so happy. Yay, yay. Like LGBTQ love can look like anything. You know, it can look like the two girliest girls in your sorority falling in love. It, you know, and it felt like a moment for for people who need to see that specific type of love, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then, you know, maybe, I don't even know if it was 24 hours later, it comes to light that the site of their wedding may have been a plantation.
Oh, I was afraid that's where this was going.
Plantations are haunted, guys. I don't care how cool you think they look. They're fucking haunted. You are inviting a curse into your life. They are haunted. They are haunted. Don't do it. They should be
do
it. Burn them to the ground or gift them to the ancestors of the people who were enslaved there and let them profit off of the events that are held there if they want to. But Jesus Christ, don't get married on a plantation.
Yikes.
Don't. It's
for a long time.
For a very long time. In addition, some old tweets surfaced as they tend to do, from London, the brunette half of the couple, wherein about 8-9 years ago, she was kind of frequent user of the N-word in tweets.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
London and Olivia are both white women, and that's not an okay word.
You didn't even have to tell me that.
Yeah.
Kind of sussed it out.
You can't do it. That's a don't do. That's a don't do. And so they made an apology video with London, rambling on for a really long time, not really taking ownership in a way that felt genuine. She was doing it from her honeymoon. She was dressed like a doll. And then Olivia kind of standing behind her looking like Elliot Spitzer's wife. And then a couple days later, people were already kind of trained on these two people. More tweets surfaced where Olivia was also using words that you're not supposed to use. You don't use them. You don't do it. You don't tweet it. You don't write it down. You don't think it. You don't say it.
Or let me tell you something. If you did say it or do it, don't grow up to try to be a social media influencer.
No, you've closed that door. You have closed that door.
That ship has sailed.
Exactly. You have freedom of speech. You have you can say that. You can say that. Do it. Go ahead. Try it. See what happens. What will happen is that the door to being famous is gonna slam on you at some point or another.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Paula Dean'd. And you're going to Paula Dean yourself. You're not going to get Paula Dean.
Yeah, they just Paula Dean themselves.
They just Paula Dean themselves. And this is something I have absolutely nothing. I learned who they were, and I learned I didn't like them within the span of literally a day. I was like, oh, this is cute. What a pretty stylish wedding. Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
Then you're like, oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Don't like that at all. So anyway, that's the stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with me that I focused on this week.
Okay.
In lieu of improving myself, which, everybody has the right to do in America.
That's exactly right.
Any other Sandy petty items we want to talk about?
There's just like a little mini toast, maybe? Mini toast?
Okay.
For Claudia Goldin.
Ooh.
Claudia Goldin, professor at Harvard, wins Nobel in economics for studying women in the workforce.
Amazing.
Only the third woman to have won the economics Nobel.
Wow. That's so impressive. Mm-hmm. Also, Claudia, if you can hear us or if one of Claudia's students can hear us, we want you on the show.
Come on. Please come on. We're
Hysteria.
We're doing this right now, so you will come on and we can talk to you.
We want to talk to you. You sound amazing. Congratulations. What a great thing. I'm going to do a quick roast. I got a little roast.
Please.
Do you know the name Tim Ballard?
Only because of you.
Okay. So Tim Ballard is the founder of an anti-trafficking group called OUR. OUR and Tim Ballard were behind the film. It's Operation Underground Railroad. Ugh, I can't do that.
Yikes! Stop with that. What is wrong with people?
I've got all the dumb whites this week. All the items of
this. You do have dumb white
dumb
people.
Whites. The whites are at it again. Tim Ballard founded a anti-trafficking group, Operation Underground Railroad. And his, quote, heavily fictionalized exploits were the subject of The Sound of Freedom, the blockbuster movie that all of the QAnon people bought tickets to so that empty theaters could appear to be full. He's been sued in Utah's 3rd District Court by 5 women accusing him of sexual misconduct.
Wow.
Well. Who could predict?
Knock me over with a feather.
Knock me over with a feather. This is from a report by Vice's Anna Merlin. Yeah, he's being sued for sexual misconduct. And Alyssa, all of its sexual misconduct is always like pretty gross. This is like extra super gross. So the women who are suing Ballard all live in Utah. They alleged that Ballard coerced sexual contact with them. So what he would do, according to the lawsuit, is that he would pick women with no paramilitary training who he knew cared about anti-trafficking for OUR, right. And he would invite them on missions for the organization.
Oh, hell no.
Right. And once these women who just were like these, big-eyed Utah housewives or whatever, he would insist that they needed to pretend to be a married couple so that they could fool traffickers. They needed to have chemistry so they could fool the traffickers. And so then he would like invite them to shower with him so that they could develop chemistry, have couples massages with him, do tantric yoga, and do lap dances on him. And apparently Ballard told the women, according to the suit, that that he had gotten approval from LDS leaders. He's a devout Mormon, and he told these women, most of whom were LDS.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking creep.
What a creep.
Creep. The Sound of Freedom guy turns out
Perp.
big fucking creep. Don't
Big perp.
Look, I don't want to say I love Utah, but it must be contained.
There are some rules and regulations that need to
There are
some like
the crazy in Utah. Although there are lovely people in Utah, the crazy people are extra spicy. They are just absolutely extra spicy. We got to build a wall around Utah.
Well, it's like, Utah is like the epicenter of the troubled teen camp.
Yes.
And where they're all abused and they're really bad. They're unlicensed. There's no registration. If some troubled teen facility gets busted, they can open up down the street in a different name. And do you know that Utah makes about $250 million a year from that industry?
That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
That is gross. There was also a case a few weeks back where a family influencer in Utah who had gotten in trouble in the past for her harsh videos
that was fucking crazy.
Was full on arrested for like restraining and abusing her son. Like her son escaped from this house where he was.
Yes, and like a neighbor called 911, and the neighbor was like traumatized because the kid was in such horrific condition. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's the crazy people there are extra spicy. I'm going to say that. The suit against Ballard also names co-defendants: Operation Underground Railroad, Children Need Families, which is an adoption grant organization founded by Catherine Ballard, Tim's wife. One of these days, we're going to do a show about how creepy the adoption industry is in the U.S.
Yes, we should.
You should definitely listen to season 2 of This Land. Anybody who's interested in it, it really starts to get into it, but like it is nuts and shadowy and bad, and there's a lot of grifting and a lot of bad behavior in it. They also, another co-defendant, the Spear Fund, another anti-trafficking group, which Ballard said he's a senior advisor for. Liberty and Light. There's just all of these shell companies within shell companies that all exist to allegedly stop
with the craziest names, Liberty and Light. I mean, come on.
I feel
Underground Railroad. Yikes.
I feel like the people that would have been like people that this seems like the type of organization that would appeal to the type of person who thinks that if there's a shopping bag next to their wheel in a Target parking lot, it means they've been marked for trafficking. Those like dumb things. It's like you are not at risk. You are a white woman who lives in a McMansion who would immediately be reported missing. You are not a target for trafficking. You are not a target for do something else with your anxiety. Anyway. So, I mean, I don't know if it's petty or sanny, but I really like to see that the Sound of Freedom and the entire basis of the film is like crumbling before our eyes. I think it's kind of low key, very dangerous propaganda. And I hope that the director's cut includes a shower scene at least so that we get a full picture of what was going on.
Gross. No, thank you.
Oh, we got a listener shout out. Okay. So, listener shout out. Katie in Kentucky writes, "Hi, Erin and Alyssa. Given your love of spooky and reproductive access, I read that wrong. We thought you'd enjoy my attached neighbor's yard sign, a leftover for 2022, when Kentucky voters rejected a ballot measure aimed at denying constitutional rights for abortion. I honestly thought this could have been in the Crooked merch store. I would enjoy fun Crooked Hysteria yard signs. There's still fuckery afoot in the current Kentucky governor's race. Daniel McCameron, McConnell's protege, barf emoji,
Boo.
is flip-flopping on his opinion on exemptions for cases of rape and incest. But it's a last-ditch effort that hopefully people will see through. He's also previously indicated through his results on a candidate survey that women who have abortions should be charged with murder. I hope one of you two will be joining the Pod Save guys here in Louisville on the 28th. Thanks, Katie in Kentucky." And she sent us a picture of a sign that says, "Witches for abortion access, vote no on 2." it's a beautiful sign.
It's a beautiful sign. I think we might post it in our Instagram stories or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Alyssa, thank you for being my ride or die.
Thanks, Erin.
That was very waspy. That was a very
I'm not waspy, am I?
I think it was a Bunny McDougal response.
Look, I did have a cat named Bunny once.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P. Rest in power.
R.I.P.
Rest in power, Bunny. And listeners, if you want to get in touch with us for the chance to get shouted out or just let us know something that you noticed about the show that you'd like us to cover, hysteria@crooked.com. All right. We'll be back next week.
Bye.